Did you know that nearly 1 out of every 3 adults over 65 experiences a fall each year? Most people hear that statistic and assume it is simply a part of aging. But falls are not just accidents, they are signals. They are signs that the legs, nerves, and circulation are losing the fuel they depend on. Your walking strength does not fade because you suddenly became lazy or fragile. It fades because your body slowly stops absorbing the nutrients that keep your muscles responsive, your nerves sharp, and your blood flowing. Today, I want to show you 6 foods that directly restore those missing nutrients, helping older adults walk farther, steadier, and with renewed confidence. These foods support the exact systems that weaken with age and can create real, noticeable improvements in how you move each day. Before we talk about food, let us talk about what you may already be feeling. Many older adults notice their walking speed shrinking long before they feel true pain. It begins subtly: a shorter stride, a hesitation before stepping off the curb, a need to grip the grocery cart for balance, even when you are not carrying anything heavy. You might catch yourself scanning the room for places to sit. These changes do not happen overnight. They develop gradually as your muscles, nerves, and blood vessels struggle to function with fewer biological resources than they once had. Inside your body, a quiet shift is taking place. As we age, the digestive system stops working as efficiently as it did in your 40s or 50s. The stomach produces less acid, meaning nutrients become harder to break down and absorb. Minerals that once fueled oxygen delivery now pass through the body unused. Vitamins that kept nerve signals sharp no longer reach the bloodstream in adequate amounts. Proteins that maintained muscle fibers begin to fall short. None of this triggers immediate pain. Instead, it shows up as fatigue, shakiness, slower reflexes, and the sense that your legs are not keeping up with your intentions. This is why so many people say, "I used to walk the mall easily. Now I struggle to cross a parking lot." Their muscles are not weak because they stopped moving. They are weak because they are under-fueled. When oxygen drops and nerves misfire, even small movements feel like hard work. The body begins to compensate. You might lean more to one side, take smaller steps, or keep your knees stiff instead of bending them. These compensations tighten joints, strain tendons, and ultimately raise the risk of falling. The hopeful truth is that these declines are not fixed or final. The systems responsible for walking can be nourished, supported, and strengthened at any age. Your muscles still respond to nutrients. Your nerves still repair their protective coating. Your circulation still improves when given the right materials. Walking strength is not a fixed trait. It is a living function that depends heavily on what is missing from your daily diet. That is why the next 6 foods matter so much. Each one targets a specific failure point in the walking system and helps rebuild the foundation for smoother, stronger movement. Let us start with your most basic walking fuel: oxygen. Food 1 is iron-rich foods, the oxygen transport lifeline. Oxygen is the single most important fuel source for your walking muscles. Every time you walk across the room, your hips, thighs, and calves demand a constant flow of oxygen-rich blood. Without enough of it, your legs fatigue quickly, your pace slows, and climbing stairs feels twice as hard as it used to. Iron is the mineral responsible for capturing oxygen in your lungs and delivering it through the bloodstream to your muscles. Think of iron as the seats on the bus that carries oxygen. When your iron intake drops, there are fewer seats, and those oxygen passengers never reach your muscles in full numbers. Low iron is extremely common among seniors, even when blood tests appear normal. Traditional blood work often looks for severe deficiency, not for optimal function. But walking strength depends on optimization, not just on avoiding disease. Even slightly low iron can reduce the distance you can walk comfortably. Researchers have shown that when seniors increased their iron intake to healthier levels, their 6-minute walking distance improved in a measurable way. They did not change their exercise, they changed their fuel. Animal-based sources, such as lean red meat and liver, provide the most absorbable form of iron. A small portion a couple of times a week can make a real difference, but plant eaters can still benefit by consuming lentils, spinach, beans, and tofu. The key is pairing plant sources with vitamin C. A squeeze of lemon juice, bell pepper slices, or a side of citrus alongside your meal can dramatically increase absorption. Without vitamin C, much of that iron simply passes through the system unused. Another modern challenge is that many older adults eat very small meals, especially at breakfast and lunch. With minimal intake comes minimal iron. A simple adjustment, 2 or 3 iron-rich meals per week, eaten in modest but meaningful portions, can significantly increase oxygen delivery to tired leg muscles. Over time, that means less huffing and puffing, fewer breaks on the way from the car to the door, and more confidence when you face a hill or a staircase. Iron matters because oxygen is the foundation of walking stamina. When muscles receive a full supply, fatigue decreases and strength feels more stable throughout the day. With better oxygenation, your legs recover faster, respond more quickly, and maintain power even in the afternoon. When many seniors feel their energy crash, iron is not a stimulant and not a quick fix. It is a biological necessity. When replenished consistently, it helps restore a sense of steadiness and energy that many people assume is gone forever. Now let us talk about the wiring that controls every step you take. Food 2 is vitamin B12 sources, the nutrient that restores fast, accurate nerve signals. If iron fuels the muscles, vitamin B12 fuels the communication between your brain and your legs. Every step begins as a message. Your brain sends an electrical signal down a long nerve fiber, telling a muscle to contract at the right time and with the right force. For that signal to travel quickly and accurately, the nerve must be coated with a protective layer called myelin. B12 is essential for building and maintaining this coating. When B12 levels drop, the coating thins. The signal slows and sometimes even misfires. On the outside, you might experience this as heavy legs, clumsy feet, or a slight delay between deciding to move and actually moving. You might clip the edge of a rug, catch your toe on a step, or feel unsteady when turning around quickly. These are all signs of nerve signals losing their sharpness. Low B12 does not always show up as memory loss first. In many older adults, the earliest symptoms appear in the legs. Poor balance, tripping on small objects, difficulty lifting the foot during a stride, or an unsteady sensation when walking in dim light. Research from major universities has shown a direct connection between low B12 and impaired walking coordination. And because older adults absorb B12 poorly due to lower stomach acid, this deficiency is more common than most people realize. Food sources are often more powerful than low-dose supplements because they come packaged with other helpful nutrients. Clams, salmon, sardines, and eggs provide high concentrations of B12 in forms the body recognizes easily. Canned clams, surprisingly, are one of the richest sources. Just a small serving can provide more than enough B12 for an entire day and can meaningfully support nerve repair. For those who enjoy fish, a simple salmon salad or sardines on whole grain toast become not just meals, but nerve nourishment. If your digestion is slower or more sensitive, consuming B12 earlier in the day often improves absorption and keeps you from feeling too full at night. The goal is not perfection, it is consistency. Your nerves need a regular supply to rebuild damaged myelin and speed up electrical communication. Over weeks and months, that rebuilt coating can translate into steadier steps, less stumbling, and more trust in your own legs. When nerve signals regain their strength, walking becomes more controlled and confident. Steps feel more intentional instead of hesitant. Balance improves because the brain receives clearer information about where your feet are and how they are moving. Reflexes respond faster, reducing the risk of tripping or failing to catch yourself when you misstep. B12 is not just a vitamin on a label. It is the wiring system that keeps your legs connected to your intentions. Without it, your muscles can be strong, yet still fail to perform reliably. With it, you restore the coordination that protects your independence. Next, we focus on the highways that carry blood to your muscles. Food 3 is nitrate-rich vegetables, opening the blood flow highway. While iron increases oxygen carrying capacity, nitrate-rich vegetables increase the speed at which oxygen reaches your muscles. Foods like beets, arugula, spinach, and romaine lettuce are naturally high in nitrates, compounds the body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide expands and relaxes blood vessels, allowing more oxygen-rich blood to flow through with less resistance. If you have ever felt your legs tighten, burn, or cramp during a walk, you have felt the consequences of restricted blood flow. Muscles under stress demand more oxygen. When the vessels cannot deliver it quickly enough, muscle fibers begin to seize. Increasing nitric oxide production widens these vessels, relieves that pressure, and improves walking endurance. Beet juice is the most studied and one of the most powerful options. In seniors with circulation issues, drinking a small serving of beet juice increased walking time before exhaustion by a meaningful margin. It is not a stimulant. It does not raise your heart rate like caffeine. It simply helps your blood vessels relax so blood can move more freely. Many people feel a gentle sense of lightness in their legs about an hour after drinking it. If juices are not your preference, arugula salads, sautéed spinach, or roasted beets can deliver impressive benefits as well. The key is regular intake. Nitric oxide levels rise and fall over a few hours, so consistent consumption ensures your blood vessels stay responsive and flexible day after day. You might choose beet juice before a longer walk or enjoy a large salad with dark leafy greens at lunch. This food category is unique because its effects can sometimes be felt almost immediately. Oxygen reaches the muscles more easily, steps feel less strained, and stamina increases during everyday activities like shopping or walking the dog. When combined with iron, nitrate-rich vegetables create a powerful partnership, more oxygen in the blood, and wider pathways to deliver it. Now that oxygen and circulation are addressed, we turn to the actual engines that move you. Food 4 is complete protein, protecting and rebuilding muscle tissue. Muscles are the engines of walking. They lift your feet, push you forward, control your descent when you step down, and support your joints with every movement. Without sufficient protein, especially the amino acid leucine, muscle fibers gradually shrink and lose power. This process accelerates after about age 60, when the body requires a much stronger protein signal to trigger muscle repair than it did in youth. Many seniors unknowingly consume far too little protein. A slice of toast for breakfast, a small bowl of soup for lunch, and a modest dinner do not provide enough to maintain leg strength. Over time, the legs lose endurance, stability, and the ability to respond to sudden challenges. This weakness is often misinterpreted as just aging, when in reality it is undernutrition. Complete protein sources supply all the essential amino acids needed to maintain and rebuild muscle tissue. Eggs, fish, poultry, dairy, and high-quality plant protein blends provide a robust spectrum of building blocks. Whey protein is particularly effective because it delivers leucine in high concentrations, activating the repair switch in muscle cells. For those who prefer plant options, combining foods like beans, lentils, tofu, and whole grains can also create a complete profile. The timing of protein intake matters just as much as the amount. Eating a large pile of meat at dinner does not support muscle recovery, as well as dividing protein evenly throughout the day. Research suggests that consuming around 25 to 30 grams of protein per main meal provides the optimal signal for muscle rebuilding in older adults. That might look like Greek yogurt with nuts at breakfast, a tuna or bean salad at lunch, and a piece of fish or chicken with vegetables at dinner. By improving protein intake in this simple, steady way, many seniors experience rapid improvements in walking strength. Muscles feel more solid under you, less shaky when you stand from a chair, and less tired at the end of the day. Protein is not about building big muscles. It is about preserving the muscle fibers required for balance, step height, and stability on uneven ground. When you pair adequate protein with better oxygen, circulation, and nerve communication, you create a strong muscular foundation for safe, confident walking. Now we turn to a quieter enemy inside the body. Food 5 is anti-inflammatory spices, reducing joint drag and muscle fatigue. Even with strong muscles and good circulation, inflammation can silently sabotage walking strength. Chronic inflammation acts like internal friction. It makes joints feel stiff, slows your movements, and drains your energy before the day is over. You may not see visible swelling, but you feel heaviness, warmth, or a dull ache that never quite goes away. Turmeric and ginger are two of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods you can easily add to your plate. Turmeric contains an active compound called curcumin that blocks biochemical pathways responsible for producing swelling in the body. This can reduce joint stiffness and allow smoother movement during walking. Ginger helps decrease muscle soreness and supports recovery after activity. Together, they gently calm the internal irritation that wears your body down. There is one important detail with turmeric. Curcumin is poorly absorbed on its own. When you pair it with black pepper, absorption increases dramatically, making the spice far more effective. A small amount of black pepper in a turmeric-rich meal multiplies its benefits. You might sprinkle turmeric and pepper over eggs, blend them into a soup, or stir them into warm milk or a plant-based drink in the evening. Anti-inflammatory spices improve walking in two main ways. First, they reduce joint discomfort, which makes you more willing to move and less likely to guard your joints with stiff, cautious steps. Second, they lighten the workload on your muscles. When inflammation decreases, your muscles need less effort to perform the same tasks, which increases stamina and lowers fatigue. Older adults often think of spices only as flavor enhancers, but their biochemical effects are powerful enough to influence mobility. Consistent intake, even in small amounts, helps counteract the inflammation that naturally tends to rise with age. Over time, you may notice that your morning stiffness eases more quickly, and your legs feel less achy after a day on your feet. Finally, we arrive at the master lubricant for joints and nerves. Food 6 is omega-3 fatty acids, the master lubricant for joints and nerves. Omega-3 fats are essential for both joint comfort and nervous system function. They help reduce chronic inflammation throughout the body, but they also support the communication network between your brain and your legs. These fats form a major part of the outer layer of nerve cells. When omega-3 levels are adequate, nerve signals travel quickly and efficiently. This directly improves balance, coordination, and your ability to sense where your feet are as you move. Poor proprioception, the awareness of foot position, is a major factor in senior falls. Omega-3 fats help sharpen that internal sense. Omega-3s also act as natural lubricants for joints. They calm inflamed joint tissues, reduce friction, and promote easier movement. Seniors who consistently consume omega-3-rich foods often notice that walking feels smoother, with fewer aches during long periods of standing or gentle exercise. Knees may feel less puffy, ankles may feel less tight, and the simple act of getting up and down may feel more fluid. The best sources are fatty fish, such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, and herring. Eating these 2 or 3 times per week provides a strong foundation. Canned options are perfectly acceptable and often more affordable and convenient. For those who do not enjoy fish, high-quality fish oil supplements can provide the active components called EPA and DHA. Always speak with your healthcare provider before starting supplements, especially if you take blood thinners. Studies also show that omega-3s enhance the effects of protein consumption, making muscle repair more efficient. This pairing is especially beneficial for older adults seeking to rebuild leg strength. Omega-3 fats play a dual role supporting balance through nerve health and reducing joint discomfort through anti-inflammatory action. Together, these improvements significantly lower the risk of falls and help you feel more stable during daily activities. There is one more quiet factor that ties all of this together: hydration and minerals. Your muscles and nerves are mostly water and rely heavily on minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium to fire correctly. Mild dehydration is extremely common in older adults and can cause leg cramps, dizziness, and sudden weakness. Drinking small amounts of water regularly throughout the day, and including mineral-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and beans, helps your walking system work smoothly. If you walk for more than about 30 minutes, a small handful of lightly salted nuts or a banana can support your muscles and prevent those sudden nighttime cramps that jerk you awake. So now you have a clear picture of what actually powers your walking strength: iron for oxygen, B12 for nerve signals, nitrate-rich vegetables for blood flow, complete protein for muscle support, anti-inflammatory spices to reduce internal friction, omega-3 fats to lubricate joints and sharpen balance, and simple hydration with minerals to keep the entire system running. None of these foods are exotic. None require complicated recipes or expensive powders. They are simple, targeted tools that help your muscles, nerves, and circulation work the way they were designed to. You do not need to add everything at once. Start with 1 or 2 changes. Maybe you add beet salad twice a week, swap a low-protein breakfast for eggs and yogurt, or enjoy salmon on Sunday. Each small change teaches your body that it is not finished, it is still being supplied. It is still expected to carry you forward. If you want to keep walking farther, steadier, and with more confidence, now is the time to take action. These 6 foods are not complicated solutions. They are practical, science-based tools that help restore the strength and coordination you rely on every day. Start with just one change today. Add a serving of salmon, a handful of spinach, a mug of bone broth, or a sprinkle of turmeric and black pepper to your dinner. Small steps build remarkable momentum. If you found value in this video, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another guide designed to support your strength and independence. And I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 foods will you add to your next meal, and how will you use it in your real life? Comment below and share your choice. I read every message. In the next video, I will show you 5 simple mobility stretches you can do from a chair that can add years of strength back to your stride. Your strongest steps are still ahead,